Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to discuss faith, action, and miracles. Tonight starts the first night of Hanukkah. For those of you who celebrate Hanukkah, for those of you who have a New Testament, you'll actually find that Hanukkah is referenced in the book of John. It's called a Feast of Dedication. Sometimes it's translated, other times it's not, but it's there, I promise you. The lessons of Hanukkah are true in every generation for any people who desire to make a stand against tyranny, ultimately to safeguard their values, their rights, and their freedoms. So the story of Hanukkah, let's go back to, over 2,000 years ago. The Jewish people were being occupied, the land of Israel was being occupied by a foreign power. And what good foreign powers did back in the day, and still do today, is they try and destroy the values. They try and destroy the family. They try and destroy faith. Once you can obliterate that triad, you can take over control of anything. This is one of the reasons why communist dictatorships throughout the decades have sought actively to destroy Bible belief and to destroy people whose faith hinges upon the scriptures. You can't take over and subjugate a people who have no faith. Faith, if you look at the Tyler cycle, for instance, undergirds action with a fortitude and a determination and allows people to confront overwhelming odds against them if they're operating on sure footing from a faith standpoint. When you look at what happened with Hanukkah, in the story of Hanukkah, you've got Yehuda HaMaccabi, Judah, the Hebrew hammer, Judah Maccabee, the Maccabees. The occupying power, right, Antiochus Epiphanes, the occupying power, the Greeks came in. And in an interesting turn of events, they took over the temple, and the temple of God. They desecrated it, they defiled it, they did a whole bunch of stuff, like altering things they definitely shouldn't have. They put pigs on the altar and sacrificed them. It was really, really bad. And so not only that, but that was kind of like the culminating event. It had been serially leading up to this, but it had been a slow and steady tiptoe into this oppression. It only took a few who knew what was right and decided to do it too. But it wasn't like they just prayed and everything worked out and showed up. Faith, action, and miracles is the message of Hanukkah, in my opinion. When you look at the story, like we have the menorah, of course, where you've got the 8 candles because the temple oil lasted. They only had enough oil in the temple once they rededicated it for it to last one day, because you can't just put any old type of oil in the menorah in the temple. It has to be very special. Like super uber special. They didn't have enough for 8 nights, but they're like, you know what? We're going to take a step in faith here and we're going to put it back. And then the oil lasts for 8 crazy nights. That's what people are used to. That's what the more politically correct, superficial story of Hanukkah is. But the deeper level here is one that every oppressed people and every group of people in every generation who desire to throw off tyranny and embrace freedom and a return to their traditional values, every people can look back at what happened at Hanukkah time and lessons of Hanukkah and apply it today. Faith, action, and miracles. Miracles don't just happen because we sit back and passively pray and hope and it's going to show up. Sometimes they do, sometimes, but not in this case. And I would argue that most of the time throughout the expanse of Scripture, when people prayed for miracles, there was a step in faith taken after that. Faith, action, miracle. The faith of the Maccabees. These guys didn't just one day be like, all right, we're going to pray and here's these swords that somehow we've gotten and we've never used them before and we're going to take the temple back. No. And these were guys who were willing to drill, willing to take time, willing to be prepared, knowing though that they were going to be outmanned, knowing that they were going to be outarmed, knowing that they were occupied by an oppressive foreign power. They nonetheless had faith in God and knew that it was their duty, knew that it was their right, knew that it was their obligation to show up in his name because of his commandments. Despite the fact that the superficial odds were against them, they knew that they had the king of the universe that was controlling for them. In our own lives, part of the discipline of being freedom-oriented, liberty-focused, is a willingness to prepare. And not from the strength of our own might and arms. A discipline to show up knowing that if we are showing up for the right reasons and we have searched ourselves and known in and out, backwards and forwards, that we are operating on the side of right and on the side of moral uprightness, that the King of the universe shows up for us in our time of need. The battle belongs to the Lord, and not just the outside, like superficial, oh, this is my battle, but it belongs to the Lord. In every day, every type of battle, whatever miracle it is that we need, that we crave, that we desire in our lives, faith, action, miracle. So in the story of Hanukkah, the Maccabees go in there and they whoop up on the offending Greeks and they throw them out of the temple. And you think about this, right? They knew that they were provoking things. They knew that the greatest empire at the time was occupying them. They knew that the odds were against them. But their confidence in God was bigger than their fear and bigger than the facts staring them in the face. So they go in there, they whoop up on the Greeks, they throw them out of the temple, they set up everything back to where it needed to be. And the crowning moment, after they've rededicated it, the lighting of the menorah. Again, another step in faith. That step in faith is, we've done everything we needed to do physically. We got these guys out of here. We drove them out. And an interesting thing, like it could have been so easy for them at that point to celebrate, like, yeah, look at us. Look how strong we are. Look at what we did, accomplished by the work of our hands. But that's not what they did. What they did afterwards is set everything back up, reinstitute the proper way that things were to be done, and then light up the menorah. That light shone out as a testimony that God's ways are higher than our ways. With enough oil, think about that, it's another level of faith. They only had enough oil to make one night's light last. But think about what that signifies too. That we know the same God who gave us victory in a battle, he's bigger than the laws of the physical world. He's bigger in not just battle. He's the Lord of war. He's bigger than just battle. He's big in our lives to supersede and transform even physical laws above and beyond. Faith, action, miracles. So at this point in our lives, at this time of year, a lot of us are getting together with family. A lot of us have various different events that we're attending. And also there's a reflection that happens. You know, as we look back on this year, looking at how have I behaved? Have I behaved in line with where I should? How have I married together my principles with action in my own life? Part of our willingness to stand for freedom in every generation is not just, oh, I have a safe queen that I never take to the range. Oh, I have a rifle that's not zeroed. Oh, I have a pistol that I never carry. It's okay. It's a talisman to ward off the evil attacker spirits. Oh, it's okay. My faith protects me. We have a diligence and a responsibility as people of faith. Our faith does not absolve us from action. Our faith does not release us from discipline to be ready in every generation. If anything, it is our faith that fuels our determination and our dedication to be ready in every generation. Because we know that if we show up with a right heart and with a place of submission to God in accordance with his word, we will see miracles according to the bounty of his mercy. He is faithful and just in every generation, and he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. He is faithful and covenant keeping to his people and to the children's children for 1,000 generations. Whatever it is, I want to encourage you, whatever it is in your life that you have a need for miracles, whether it's for health, whether it's for provision, whether it is something that is so crazy, maybe it's minute crazy, something so small, like you just need to find some little tiny replacement part for whatever and nobody seems to have it. Whatever it is in your life, pray. Marry together faith with action, and there are miracles. God rewards his people. He's always listening, and he's there for us. We have to hold on to what we know is true and not allow it to be wrested away through the prevailing winds of ideology or through force. Think about that. Like, you have a couple of modalities here. Like the Greeks, the way that they did stuff most of the time was to appeal and to water down and to be like us, it's cool. Worship these other gods. Abandon your traditions. It's so passé. The quaint time of the horse and buggy. Like, can you see it? Can you see it? Nothing's changed throughout history. Be like us. Assimilate. Look like us. Do our thing. Forget your principles. Forget your values. Forget the way that you live. We're the big guys in town now. There's the soft, white-gloved tyranny, and then there's the iron fist, the heavy-handed tyranny. Typically, it starts out the soft way, and then when that doesn't work, when the carrot doesn't work, they go to the stick. We got to be ready to withstand first the carrot, and then also the stick. And that happens with diligence on our part and a willingness to show up in whatever way it is that the Lord's called you to. Be willing to show up in your life. Faith, action, and miracles. Hope it was helpful for you all today. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll subscribe to me here on YouTube, Patriot Nurse. You can also support me on Patreon, subscribe to our cryptocurrency and PayPal. I got links below. Next year's schedule. I am teaching in January a new class called Herbal Ethereum Preparation with Patriot Nurse. There's a mandatory prereq. You have to have had Medical Prep 101 and 201 before, or in my online course in order to attend that class. It's a smaller class size, and it's going to be limited. Next year, I will not be traveling as much. I'm taking the first quarter off. For those of you who've been following the channel, you know I've been battling some health stuff. And I've been sick 4 times. Seriously sick 4 times since June. So I'm in need of refreshment, and I would ask you to continue to pray for me, because I've been doing the roadshow and taking one for the team and going around and schlepping a lot of stuff and doing things for 10 years at this point. And I'm definitely tired. I won't lie. I'm tired, and I've been working really, really hard to try and get people ready and prepared, and it's been good work. I'm very, very grateful for it. But next year in 2023, I'm not going to be on the road as much, guys. 10 years worth of being on the road, I think that's definitely plenty of time for people to have found something close to them. So next year, Lord willing, I'll be releasing my schedule within the next few weeks. I will be going to 2 locations for travel, Montana and Dallas, Texas. And most of it will be in Tennessee. Most of the classes will be in Tennessee afterwards. So 2023 is coming around here soon. And that's where I'm going to be teaching most of my classes. So I haven't released the schedule yet, but I will here soon. The only class that's on the schedule right now is for January, and that's the Herbal Ethereum Prep class. That one's limited to 15 students, and so I think I only have a couple spots left for that class. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoy spending time with your families. May the Lord bless and keep you all. May you see miracles in accordance with faith, action, and the mercy of our Lord. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later.